Welcome to saitechinfo channel, my dear students, teachers, and parents. In this session, I would like to explain about the conceptual learning. We will be discussing, first of all, what is a concept, that is, how the concept can be defined. Secondly, I'll be explaining about the need for conceptual learning. Then, let me explain the concept teaching and what are the essential learning tools to learn a concept. Then, how these concepts can be evaluated, that can be studied under concept assessment. Then, summary, and there will be some question and answer session. Now let me take up the first one. What is a concept? Concept, actually, it is a word derived from conceive. So the ideas are created. Once the ideas are created and validated to perform or to accomplish or to explain a principle so that it should be useful to the society for designing an equipment or designing a strategy or procedure, etc. Ultimately, whatever we learn, it should be useful to the society. So, the concept is derived from the several thoughts. It is an integrated ideas. See, everyone has got idea, but the problem is if it is scattered idea, it may not be useful to the society. It should be properly recorded. After all, these ideas are resulted because of consistent thoughts. See, let us have one thought and let us contemplate on it, then it becomes concept, a great idea. A subject essentially consists of, say, 10 to 15 chapters, if it is a semester system. If it is, a non-semester system, that is for an annual examination. Suppose if it is for semester pattern, probably it may contain 5 to 6 chapters only. Each chapter has, say, about 6 to 10 concepts. And as I already mentioned, concept is nothing but the integrated idea. So we need to focus on concept rather than the subject or chapter. So why we insist on conceptual learning? Let me give a project to you. You have to eat an elephant, and that too in a single bite. Is it possible? It's ruled out. So we cannot eat an elephant in a single bite. That is why we need to adopt a differential approach in learning. As I already mentioned, idea, it may be scattered or it is due to a single thought. But when it is an integrated one, it becomes a beautiful concept. And these integrated concepts result a lesson. Therefore, we need to go for conceptual deep learning. See, when we learn, there are various stages, essentially 4 stages. We should be aware of the technical or general terms and symbols. So this is knowledge based. So knowledge. Then we need to understand the concept. So understanding. So once we have understood the concept, then we need to apply. So we have to apply, we have to derive, we have to explain and demonstrate, and then we need to develop a skill that is very, very important. So, for which we need to adopt or carry out various learning activities, and it should be evaluated at concept level itself. Let me say we need to learn a concept in an hour, and we need to finish that concept in a day. So, how to finish that concept, and what is the difference between learning and finishing a concept, completing a concept? When you take up the learning concept, you are undergoing, you have to read first of all. And if there is any doubt, you have to interact with the mentor or your teacher or tutor. And after that, you have to prepare your own notes based on that. We used to recommend cornell notes. Uh, of course, that is, it can be referred in one of our videos. Here, once it is done, these concept notes are developed by using various learning tools. Almost it is over, and it has to be evaluated also. So we need to finish a concept definitely at least within 3 hours. It means, suppose if you have got 3 or 4 subjects, means it can be finished in a day. So a lesson essentially consists of 6 to 8 concepts. So we can finish a lesson in a week in a subject. We can evaluate all these lessons, that is from different subjects, or a single lesson from a subject on particularly Sunday. So make that Sunday a day where you have got a complete evaluation or learning activities. For example, let us take photosynthesis. It is a concept. We have been studying this concept even from 6th standard or 4th standard. But when we ask any student, even at 12th standard, what is photosynthesis, most of the students, they are not in a position to explain properly photosynthesis. It is because of the lack of deep learning and understanding. So from the very word photosynthesis, photo means photon, that means light. Then synthesis, something prepared from elements. So using the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, the leaves are capable of synthesizing, preparing its own food, that is called starch, a polycarbohydrate. So that is carbohydrate, polysaccharides. Likewise, we should be able to clearly pick up the important concepts just by looking at the very term itself. Then, let us move to the next one, concept teaching. So, when we start teaching, in fact, sir, that is only the experienced persons or only the subject matter teachers or experts are allowed to teach. But I would say, in my opinion, no. Even an LKG student can teach. Do you understand? So the the parents should encourage the children to teach. That is very, very important. And that is why even in our Indian culture, see, that is Subramanya Swami, Lord Muruga, he has taught his own father, and that Thiruvilayadal has taken place in Swami Malai. So this is one of the greatest example to encourage small children to teach, because by teaching you can retain the knowledge, whatever you have learned, to the maximum extent. There is a Tamil word, கற்றோர்க்கு அழகு சுருங்கச் சொல்லி விளங்க வைத்தல். It means we should be able to explain things nicely in the shortest form. So we have to practice teaching. கற்க கசடர கற்க. That is, we have to learn that is without any mistake, that is flawless learning is recommended. And that can be done by taking up this conceptual learning only. And when we talk about this, when I say learning or teaching, we cannot separate these two, because as I already mentioned, teaching is also the last part of learning, because you are able to retain so many concepts or so many ideas or points by teaching others. So concept teaching, here we should adopt say about 5 important aspects, that is we used to call 5E learning theory. We had to prepare the lecture contents in such a way that by preparing that you are developing the notes, and it is going to be useful not only for you but also to your students, but also your learners, your listeners. See, by listening others, you become great learners. And when we explain about this 5E learning theory, there are 5E's as I already mentioned, that is engage. So when you want to explain or when you want to discuss about a concept or a new idea, you should be engaging. So we used to call some high point. So whenever we watch any movie, you may be able to get some grand scenes, and that will almost permanently record in your mind. So it means what? That is so catchy, whether it is important or not, that is different. But this high point, it may be different for different persons. It is something like that is the 7 blinds looking at an elephant. It is in their own perspective. Probably those high points are very, very important, and these high points are the very attractive one, and that is engaging one. So it will lock the learners. Okay, so it should be highly engaged. The starting is very, very important, because first impression is the best impression. Second, exploring. We must allow the students to explore what are the possible ideas that they can come out or pick up from that example. That is when you talk about photosynthesis, you can talk about these green leaves and how the foods are present. And you can show even rice and other carbohydrates and show leaf, and you can ask the students and to explain how this food is prepared from this leaf. So likewise, they should be allowed to link various learning aspects. Then we should be able to explain the concept very clearly, and then the students should be allowed to extend their learning to other areas also, so that it can be overlapped with the different disciplines. And finally, it should be properly evaluated. So these are the 5 learning concepts, that is strategies we can say. Then concept learning tools. The terms are important, definitions are important, symbols are important. So for this, the ideal tool is flashcard, in my opinion. So you should write, let me say this is one of the card. Let me take any card available from here. Okay, let me take this small visiting card. So it should be like a postcard size, So you have got the A4 sheet. If I have got the A4 sheet on my table, I can take up 1 minute. Let me take this one. Yeah. So fold this like this. Okay. And again fold this. This becomes what? A flashcard. Finished. So you can write the term here and its appropriate explanation, that is definition, on the other side. And you can write the symbol here, you can write the expression here. So likewise you can prepare something like souvenirs, in those days they prepare. So you can tag it properly and prepare very well, so that you can memorize the terms. That is very, very important, is it not? And this can be given to your parent or your friend or your brother or sister, so that you can ask them to ask some terms, so that you can that is check your memory of these terms. Then concept maps. You can take drawing sheets where you can beautifully link the concepts. Instead of studying the concepts linearly by line, it will be boring. Instead, you can map these ideas so that it will be formed as a beautiful concept map. Then infographics, you should give due weightage to the drawing. So on one side you can draw, on the other side you can put the labels by putting 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, well, 4. And you can hide this, you can check yourself what are the parts. Okay, so likewise it will be very useful for your self-assessment. Then data, equation, formulae, all these things should be written properly, and it can be formed as a single sheet. That is called, we used to call cheat sheet. Okay, and then at any time, that is, it can be referred, Then derivation, you have to write, you have to derive, so the appropriate equations and formula, and we should be able to explain. Okay, so just to try to explain to your friends or to your teachers, etc. Then you should be able to give a give a demonstration about the topic, about the concept you are explained, and you can show your own derivation, and you can ask your friend to watch these derivations, how you are doing. So these are all the beautiful ideas for learning. I don't mind, that is, this is even students should apply, because it is not only applicable for teaching but also for learning, and that is why I put a general word learning. Okay, then problem solving, you have to necessarily do various problems based on that particular concept, and we should promote different ideas. Okay, so that the students will be much more interested in involving in the concept. And then you have to develop the mnemonics to help memorizing the terms, and we can have interactive quiz in between, and as I already mentioned, the flashcards may be useful. Then the concepts, whatever we have learned, should be assessed properly. So it should be a short-term evaluation only. It should not be too lengthy. So we should adopt a differential approach, and it can be of a quiz type with a lot of MCQ, multiple choice questions, fill up the blanks, matching, crossword puzzles, word scrambling, and you can develop worksheets. Then you have to write down the tests. Then that can be small projects, learning games like crossword puzzles, etc. Then we can invite the students to give demonstrations, video presentations, and we can also encourage the students to come out for what you call blogging of educational constants. Instead of wasting their time in unwanted things in social media, why don't you encourage our students? We can encourage our students to write article, post article, and they can blog their narrative experiences, in their own language, where they are comfortable. Okay, so all this can be encouraged, as well as conceptual learning part. Then finally, it is my duty, that is every teacher's duty, to summarize whatever they have discussed. So we have explained about the concept, that is, we had defined what is concept, then where is the need for conceptual learning, and I explained about the conceptual teaching and what are the different concept learning tools. Then finally, how these can be effectively evaluated under concept assessment. Now get ready for the question and answer session. You can take time, your own time, but within the that is the end of the video, you should be able to write down the answer. Are you ready? Yes, get ready. Take your pen and paper, start writing. What is a concept? So you have to respond, that is, write the answer within a minute. I'll wait. what is a concept? In a single line, that's all. Right. Let me move to the next question. Scattered thoughts versus focused thought. What is your opinion about this? You can try to speak and record and send it in Telegram also. Right, let me move to the third question, which is called idea. Now let me move to the next question. Integration of a few ideas is equal to dash. The clue is given within bracket POECNCT. It's very easy. So this is called words scrambling, that is letter scrambling, from which you can get the idea, the answer. So you can adopt this style also. What are 5 E's of learning theory? You can quickly tell or write. Okay. Now, mnemonics is useful to dash the concepts. It's very easy. The first letter is M. Let me give you a clue. Very easy. Right. Seventh question. Dash are useful for terms and definitions. Try. Finished? Good. There is no need to write in concept learning. It means that is whether it is true or false. You have to explain. You have to state true or false. Okay? Right, let me go to the answer. Concept is a collection of few ideas duly validated. It should be validated by others also. Then, second question. The scattered thoughts are useless. Focused thought develops a great idea. Okay? Right. And that is called concept. Now, the idea is nothing but the integrated thoughts that is useful for the society to explain certain concept. Fourth one, integration of a few ideas is equal to concept. Fifth question, the 5 E's of learning theory is they are engage, explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate. Right? Then mnemonics are useful to memorize concepts. Seventh question. The answer is flashcards. Flashcards are useful for terms and definitions. And finally, there is no need to write in conceptual learning. It's totally false. Our idea is to write more, and that is why we have developed conceptual learning. Okay? So thank you very much for watching this video. You please subscribe to SciTech Info YouTube channel, and you can also visit our website saitechinfo.com, so that it will be very useful for both of us to come out with brilliant ideas. Thank you very much. Bye.